Okay, so here we go. Okay, so this is the original edition, Chapter 2, Section 3, Healing as the Release from Fear. And we are starting on the paragraph that says, corrective learning always begins with the awakening of the spiritual eye. Okay, so this is the section all about healing. What is healing? How do I let myself be healed? What does healing mean? How do I allow myself to facilitate healing for others? What is healing? And what we've been hearing up until now is healing is a release from fear. Healing is a correct perception. And so we're going to hear more tonight about what healing really means. So what I want you to do before we even begin is I want you to bring to your awareness something that you would like to experience a healing in tonight. Okay? What area of life could you use a healing in? And I want you to bring that to your awareness. And I want you to be listening for what attitude or what ideas you can apply tonight so that you can experience a healing tonight. Okay? And so with that area in mind, or with that thing in mind, I want you to be listening for your answers for how to experience a healing. And if you have any questions about how to apply these ideas to the area that you need healing in, don't hesitate to raise your hand and ask, because we need that too. Okay? So this is I want this to be practical and useful. And it will be practical and useful if we actually use it tonight. Okay? So, is anybody not able to come up with an area of life they would like to experience a healing in tonight? Anyone? Anyone? All right. Because if you do, I get some for you. You can work on some of mine for me and tell me what you got after class. All right. Okay. No liars in the house. All right. Excellent. Okay. As a matter of fact, it says in here, basically, healing is a human need. If you're here, if you've got a body, you need healing. And he says, and the only thing that blocks a healing in any area is the belief that I don't need healing. That's it. I don't need healing. All right. So here we go. Corrective learning, which is healing, always begins with the awakening of the spiritual eye. What does the awakening of the spiritual eye mean? It means the turning away from the belief in physical sight. Okay. So that's the first thing we're hearing about the healing. Okay, I need a healing in this area. What's the first thing I need to do tonight? I need to turn away from my belief in what I'm seeing with my eyes. Okay, so in this area that I need a healing, what is it that I'm seeing with my eyes? That's the first thing I need to ask myself. How does this problem look to my eyes? What does it look like to my eyes? Well, first of all, it looks real. And it looks like it's never going to end. And it looks like maybe it's not even my problem, or what does it look like to your physical eyes? That's the first thing you want to ask yourself, okay? And then the second thing is making the decision, okay, for just a minute, I'm not going to believe what my body's eyes tell me about this problem. This problem looks like this, and it looks like that, and it looks like them, and it looks like that, it looks like them. And it looks like what they're doing, and it looks like it's outside of me, and it looks permanent, and it looks like it's my doom. And I need to not believe. I need to make the decision I'm not going to believe whatever my body's eyes tell me about this problem. That's the first thing I'm going to do. And when I make that decision, I'm not going to believe what my body's eyes are telling me about this problem, whatever, no matter how convincing it is. When I do that and I make that decision, then what happens is my spiritual eye wakes up. Ooh, when I don't believe what my body's eyes tell me and I close my body's eyes and I go within, my spiritual eye wakes up. Isn't that interesting? So it's a beautiful thought. Another name for the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of healing within you, is the spiritual eye. The spiritual eye. Not your spiritual eye, the spiritual eye. Okay, so when I close my eyes on what my body's eyes are telling me this problem is, my spiritual eye wakes up, and that is the beginning of my corrective learning. That's going to be the beginning of the healing of this problem. Isn't that beautiful? The beginning of this healing is going to start with, I'm not going to believe what my body's eyes are telling me tonight. That's how it begins. That's how it starts. Wow. Okay? Now, he says, and if you can do that, well, you can have any healing. Okay. Then it says, the reason that closing your, turning away from what your body's eyes are telling you about this problem, the reason that so often entails fear is because man is afraid of what his spiritual eye will see. Aha. That explains why I'm afraid to close my eyes and go within. I'm afraid. Anybody else in here afraid sometimes or have any resistance of closing their eyes and looking within? Anyone? Right. Okay. When I said have an open mind for 2 minutes, were you able to do that? Right. Okay. Thank you. I'm afraid to stop looking at what's happening outside of me. I'm afraid to stop looking at the physical properties of my problem because I am afraid to close my eyes and allow my spiritual eye to see within me. I'm afraid to close my eyes because I'm afraid of what my spiritual eye will see. I can't go within. I can't go within. I have resistance to going within because I'm afraid to go within. I don't want to see what my spiritual eye will see. Interesting. It's not that my mind is so damn distracted. It's not that I can't focus. It's not that my mind is going It's that I'm afraid to see what my spiritual eye will see. That's why it's difficult to look within. Well, then it says, and we said before that the spiritual eye cannot see your error. And that's because your spiritual eye is capable only of looking beyond your error to the defense of atonement, which is the remedy, the solution of undoing. So it's beautiful. So your spiritual eye, when it awakens because you've closed your eyes on what your problem looks like on the external, what your spiritual eye sees is not your error. It doesn't even see any error. It's nice. It doesn't even see your error. It just goes straight beyond your mistake to the remedy. It's nice. It doesn't even stop for a second on your mistakes. It doesn't even stop for a second on your mistakes. It doesn't go, wow, yeah, that's a doozy. Yeah, that's a doozy. I don't know. Let me think about that for a minute. It doesn't even stop at your mistake. It goes right on beyond it to look for the remedy of your problem. Wow. God, what if we did that? You make a mistake, you don't even stop on it to analyze it for a second. You go, oh, mistake, right past it. What's the remedy? What's the remedy? Now, we're not able to do that right now, but the spiritual eye within us, that's how it heals. It doesn't stop. It doesn't see the mistake. It doesn't see the mistake. It only sees the answer. It only sees the remedy. Wow. You would think we would want to see what the spiritual eye sees more often, wouldn't you? Because, we stop at the mistake. We just look at the mistake, we stop on it, we hang out with it, we juice it, we nurse it, we analyze it. When you allow the spiritual eye to look at the error within your mind, it doesn't stop a minute on it, it goes right past it to the remedy. What's the remedy for this mistake? Isn't that beautiful? And that's inside of us. And all we have to do is stop believing what our body's eyes are telling us for 1 minute about our problem. Wow.
So this is like a circular, right here, as you first mentioned, the corrective learning and healing.
Mm-hmm.
And so that must be the mechanism. Corrective learning brings about healing.
That's right.
Through the spiritual eye.
Within.
That's how you receive corrected learning.
That's right.
And what they are correcting is what your physical eye saw.
Thank you.
And your belief in it.
Exactly, and the belief that the physical came from. Yes, that's how, this is the process of healing. This is the process of allowing yourself to be freed from whatever limitation that you have made for yourself, whatever you feel limited by, whatever you feel afraid of, whatever you feel guilty about, whatever you feel like you don't have enough of, whatever you feel oppressed by, whatever you feel sick about, whatever you feel sick with. This is how the healing, which is the corrective learning, begins.
That's
Wow.
a good motivator. I mean, if we're afraid to look within and afraid of that learning.
Exactly.
This is where my healing will be. To me, take some of that fear out. It makes you want it.
Exactly. It takes the fear out of closing your eyes and going within and looking within. It takes the fear out of it. Hey, if I knew that whatever my spiritual eye saw when I closed my eyes, it wouldn't stay on the mistake, it'd go right past my error and go to the remedy, well, I wouldn't be so afraid to close my eyes. I wouldn't be so afraid to close my eyes and let the spiritual eye within me see what's in there. And then earlier he was saying the reason that we're afraid to close our eyes and look within is because we are afraid of the defilement of our mind that we will see. I'm afraid to see what I've done to my mind. And the reason I'm afraid to see what I've done to my mind is because I think my mind has the power to do damage. Aha, I think my mind's done damage. I think my mind's done damage. I certainly think my mind's done damage to all my previous relationships. Sure do, because they told me I did. And then they even showed me their pain. They even showed me how much it hurt, the damage that I did to them, you know? And so I'm afraid to look within to see, because I'm afraid I'm going to see what I've done to my mind, and I'm afraid I'm going to see the damage my mind has done to others. And I'm afraid to see that. So I don't look within. I don't quiet my mind. I don't close my eyes. I stay completely focused on everything outside of me. And then I create an entire world to keep me completely focused outside of myself. And then the world obliges. Wow. Okay. That's why I made the world, apparently, to set it up where I don't have to look within. I'm totally distracted by everything outside of me, with a whole world of stuff to look at and a whole world of stuff to think about, so that I don't look within to see what I think I've done. That's why he says earlier in the section, you've got the most protective device for your mind and for your peace is this: the recognition, denying your mind any destructive potential. Denying your mind has any destructive potential. Wow. We read that last week. I was like, what a radical concept, to actually deny your mind any destructive potential. My mind can't hurt anything that's real. My mind can't hurt anyone created by God. My mind has not hurt anyone, ever. My mind doesn't have any destructive potential. I can't kill love. I can't hurt love. I can't damage love. I can't. I'm supposed to deny my mind any destructive potential. Wow. And that's the best protective device that I can utilize. Wow. And also I'm supposed to affirm my mind's only constructive potential. He says that's a protective device. The best protective device is not to never look within so you don't see what you're thinking or what you think you've done. It's to look within and go, I am so glad that in all the mistakes I've made, all that I've done, and all that I've wished, I didn't do anything. Nothing happened. Nothing happened except for love. That's all that happened. That's the best protective device for me, for us. Wow. Mm-hmm.
So one of the tricks I believe that the ego tries to tell me is that I can't look within because I'm not capable of overcoming blah blah blah.
Right.
But I think it's all about willingness, right?
Yes.
How willing am I?
Yeah.
And I think the ego knows that, and so it tries to trick me into saying you can't, because as soon as I know that it's about my willingness, then the more willing I get, then the ego's in trouble, right?
Right, exactly. And to me, what makes it even easier is by hearing what it is why it is my ego is so defended about closing my eyes on what my eyes are seeing on the external. That helps me. And then it tells me why it is that you don't need to be afraid to do that. Okay? So, now I love how it says, like, that as soon as you close your eyes, which means stop believing what your body's eyes are telling you, the second you do that, it's not that your eyes light upon the sin in you and you're struck with horror so intense that you rush to death by your own hand. That's not what happens. The second you close your eyes on the world, what happens is that your spiritual eye wakes up. That's what happens. Your spiritual eye wakes up and looks at what you think you did, that you feel so guilty about. It looks at it and then just goes right on beyond it. That's what happens. Wow. And that's how healing begins. And then it says, there is no doubt that the spiritual eye does produce extreme discomfort by what it sees. And notice it says, by what it sees. There is no doubt that your spiritual eye does produce extreme discomfort by what it sees. Aha! So there's the extreme discomfort in looking within. There's the extreme discomfort because of what it sees, right? And then it says, yet what man forgets is that the discomfort about what the spiritual eye sees is not the final outcome of the spiritual eye's perception. That's because when the spiritual eye is permitted to look upon the defilement of the altar, which is your mind, the spiritual eye also looks immediately toward the undoing of the error, to the remedy of the error. Okay, so it's interesting that your spiritual eye, when it is permitted to look at the defilement of your mind, meaning the guilt, the fear, the anger, the hurt, the lack, the guilt, the shame, when your spiritual eye is permitted to look at that, the shame, the guilt, the fear in your mind, that does produce what kind of discomfort? Extreme discomfort. And not because it's looking, but because of the what it's looking at. Because what is the spiritual eye looking at when you close your physical eyes? It's looking at all the ways that you believe you have defiled your own self or others. So that is what happens when you close your eyes. What the spiritual eye is going to see is all the guilt and fear and shame and anger and grievances and, all of that. That's what it sees first. It's like the first layer. It's the first layer. When you close your eyes. That's why it's hard to meditate. That's why it's hard to look within. Because the first thing that the spiritual eye has got to see and look upon is all the stuff you don't want to look at. All the stuff you're afraid to look at. All the reasons why you don't get quiet and look within for long. Woo! And that's, for a second, it produces extreme discomfort. That's why, man, with 1 minute of trying to close my eyes and meditate and become quiet, what do I feel? Extreme discomfort. Extreme discomfort. First the discomfort comes in like, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm bored, I'm horny, I'm hungry, I've got things to do, I'm busy, I don't like the way this feels, right? That is extreme discomfort. Then you have the extreme discomfort of actually hearing your thoughts and feeling your feelings. Ouch. Wow.
And so, the important thing though is to remember that this isn't me.
It's exactly right.
That this isn't me, that the discomfort is coming from the ego part of it.
That's right.
But it isn't who I really am.
Exactly. And the other thing to remember is that he said what man forgets is that the discomfort that you feel in the beginning stages of looking within, the discomfort you feel is not the final outcome of this process. That's not the final outcome of closing your eyes. It's not going to be extremely uncomfortable for long. And if you can remember, oh, that's just part of the process. That's just part of the process. It's going to be extremely uncomfortable because I am not going to enjoy looking at what the spiritual eye is going to see. If you want to be healed, you're going to have to let your spiritual eye look at the shame and the guilt and the fear and the anger and the lack and the sadness and the grief and all that. You're going to have to let the spiritual eye look at it. And don't worry, it won't be long before it pops up in your awareness. It won't be long after you close your eyes. It won't be long. It's right after you become aware of all the physical discomfort of sitting there quietly with your eyes closed. It's right behind it. And then you have to tell you what man forgets is that that's not the final outcome. Just hang in there. It'll only be for a minute. Now see, that's right. If I forget that that's not the final outcome, you're right. I am not going to keep my eyes closed. I'm going to feel the discomfort. Oh, it's so uncomfortable. Ooh, I don't want to look at that. I don't want to feel that. I don't want to think my thoughts. I don't want to see my thoughts. I don't want to feel my feelings. I don't like it. It feels extremely uncomfortable. And then you pop out of it and you'll go back into believing what your body's eyes tell you. And so what man forgets is that that's not the final outcome. Hang in there. Let the spiritual eye do what it does. It's going to look at all the stuff you've been trying to not think about and hide from yourself, and then it's going to go straight beyond that to the undoing of that shame, the undoing of that fear, and the undoing of that grief, and the undoing of that guilt. It's going to go right past it if you let it. If you let it, if you hang in there, knowing that the extreme discomfort is just barrier number one. That's just part of the process, right? That's the first part of the healing.
What's that chapter and section again? I lost my place on my Kindle.
Chapter 2, Section 3, Healing as a Release from Fear. And the paragraph started, the paragraph was, well, now we're on the paragraph that starts corrective learning, same paragraph. Always begins with the awakening of the spiritual eye. Okay. Now, okay, so it says, what you must not forget when you close your eyes on the world. Don't forget that the extreme discomfort will not last for long. It will not last for long. It's not the final outcome. And if you'll just let the spiritual eye do what it does and let it look. Oh God, this is so uncomfortable. Oh my God, now I'm remembering all the shit I did. Oh, yes, so uncomfortable. Just let your spiritual eye look. Let it look. Holy Spirit, look on this guilt. Spiritual eye, look on this grief. Holy Spirit, look on this anger. Look on this sadness. Look on this pain. Look at my loneliness. Look. If you'll just let it look and don't run away from it. If you'll let it look, the discomfort won't last for long because it'll just look and go, oh, grief, oh, sadness, boop, right through it. To what? What's right behind that extreme discomfort of looking at the defilement that you think you've done to your mind? What's right behind it?
Relief.
The undoing of it. It's correction. You know, it's not like the Holy Spirit looks at your shame and your grief and your anger and goes, let's see, what should we do about that? Let's talk about that. That's not what the Spirit does at all. It just literally, looking at it is the remedy. That's what, the spiritual eye is so loving and so powerful that just looking at your defilement, what you call your defilement, just looking at it is its undoing. Isn't that beautiful? Here's the healing. Spirit, I feel so guilty, I feel so afraid, I feel so angry, I feel so lonely, I feel so sad. Please look upon it for me. Done. Gone. That's it. You let Spirit look at it, you let that spiritual eye even look at it, it's gone. That's the remedy. Wow. I thought maybe like I'd let Spirit look on it and then he'd like figure it out, analyze it, work on it, and tell me what to do, and it's not like that. I said, look at it, it's gone. Wow. So the only way that I'm keeping my problem and my stress and my sorrow and my pain is because I am not letting my spiritual eye look at it. I'm not letting me look at it. I ain't letting it look at it. I'm not letting it be seen. I'm trying to hide it. And the way I try to hide it is I don't close my eyes. I don't close my eyes. I just keep looking on its effects, its effects, its effects, its effects, its effects, its effects. Who's doing it to me? That's all I look at. Who's doing it to me? How's it doing it to me? Right? Okay, yes.
Or another way of hiding it is to say, I'm not doing this right.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
then to not do it.
Exactly. And it says, as soon as your spiritual eye is permitted to even look at the shame and the guilt and the fear and the sadness in your mind, it looks immediately toward the correction. That is the correction. Wow, that's interesting. It's not about me fixing it or analyzing it or figuring it out. It's about letting my spiritual eye look. Look. That's it. Isn't that great? Doesn't that seem a lot quicker and easier than the way we've been going about trying to figure out our problems? So much quicker, so much easier. If you can bear with the extreme discomfort of letting your own spiritual eye look at what you think you did. Wow. That's what we're sick with. I'm sick, emotionally, physically, or mentally. I'm sick because of what I think I did. What that I think was so bad, so wrong. That's what I'm sick about. I'm sick of what I think I did. Now, and until I let the spiritual eye look at what I think I did, then I'll think I did it, and I'll think it was done. And I will continue to punish myself for it. Through everybody and every situation. And that's what my problems really are. I'm punishing myself. I'm going to punish myself through this situation, and I'm going to punish myself through this person, and I'm going to punish myself through my body, and I'm going to punish myself with lack, and I'm going to punish myself because of what I think I did. And I think I did it, and I think it was done because I haven't let love, the spiritual eye, look at it. Wow.
Do you think some part of us prefers that, the known punishment to the... Well, it occurred to me when this happens, when you see something different, for a moment there you're confused, and it's like, who am I? What is the world? All of a sudden I am wrong about everything I thought I knew.
Absolutely.
And it's so compelling, it blasts through your denial,
Yep.
and you can't go back there anymore.
Yes.
So you experience that momentary deep fear.
Yeah.
Right behind it is the relief, and but isn't this so much better?
Exactly.
I know exactly where I am and where to go.
Exactly.
But
On the other side of that
I think
is...
we're resistant to
Exactly.
all learning. You have to unlearn first, which means to be confused and afraid.
That's exactly right. That's the interim. Okay, so the next thing I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes for a second, and I want you to bring to your awareness that area of life, or that thing that you would like to experience a healing around. And I want you to look into this problem, or whatever it is that feels like it's a problem that you need some healing around. And I want you to look within, and I want you to ask yourself, what is it that I think I did to deserve that? What is it that I think that I've done? How is it that I believe that I have somehow defiled my mind or someone else? What is it that I think I did wrong? What is it that I think I've done that I should feel bad about? What is it that I'm feeling guilty about relative to this problem? What is it I think I did wrong? What is it that I feel ashamed of in this situation or this relationship? Beautiful. And then I want you to call upon your spiritual eye and say, spiritual eye, please look. Please look at what I think I did, what I think was done. Please look on my guilt and my shame and my fear right now. Look at it, please. Look at it for me. Look upon it with me. And show me what you see. Beautiful. Okay. Were you able to identify something that you feel your ego told you that you did? All right. Okay.
You want it in alphabetical order?
Exactly. The first thing that came to my mind was a healing around money. And the first thing that came up for me was, well, I think I made a lot of financial mistakes. That's what I did. That was the first thing that popped up for me. You know, that's the defilement of my mind that I think that I did, right? That I didn't really want to look at. All right, and exactly, and there's many, many more behind that, but that's just the one. Okay, now, nothing the spiritual eye perceives can induce fear. Okay, so what your spiritual eye sees when you allow it to look at your mind, inside your mind, is not inducing fear. Okay. What the spiritual eye sees isn't making the fear, right? The fear is already there, okay? And then he says, but everything that results from accurate spiritual awareness is merely channelized towards correction. Everything that follows, everything that comes from allowing your spiritual eye to look at what you think you did, or what you think is wrong with you, everything that results from allowing your spiritual eye to look at it is channelized toward correction. Isn't that beautiful? Whatever it sees, whatever comes from letting it look on your ego is just channelized towards correction. Wow. So in other words, whatever your spiritual eye sees doesn't result in punishment, and it doesn't result in guilt. The guilt and the fear is not coming from what your spiritual eye is looking at in your mind. But whatever comes from that is just turns into healing. It goes into healing. It turns into healing. That's the only thing that comes. Not more guilt, not more shame, not more fear. It's not like the spiritual eye is going to look at what you think you did and go, ooh, you should feel bad about that. You should feel bad. That was pretty bad. That will never happen. That will never happen when the spiritual eye looks upon what you think you did and what you're feeling guilty about. Good. That's good to know. Then it said, then it just tells you what the discomfort means. The discomfort that you feel in this process. Notice there will be discomfort. There may be extreme discomfort. It will be there. So don't be surprised and don't think you're doing something wrong. The discomfort is good because it says now this discomfort that you will feel is aroused only to bring the need for correction forcibly into awareness. Forcibly. Wow. Now, it doesn't use that word forcibly in the edited version. I'm not sure why, but the discomfort has a very high purpose in this process. So if you feel discomfort when you close your eyes and try to go within, guess what? That means you're doing it right. That means you're close, you're close, you're close, you're close, you're close, you're close, you're close to the remedy, you're close to the relief. Why? Because the discomfort is, what is it doing? The discomfort is bringing your need for correction forcibly into your awareness. Because see, I wouldn't know I needed correction unless I was uncomfortable right now. Isn't that great reinterpretation, a reframing of discomfort? I feel so uncomfortable right now. I don't like feeling this feeling. It feels so uncomfortable. Oh, what does discomfort means? Oh, that's right. It means I need correction. I need correction. And the discomfort is making sure that I cannot forget about the fact that I need correction. I need correction. I need it. And I haven't experienced the correction or the remedy or the healing because I didn't think I needed it. I thought they needed it. I thought this situation needed correction. I thought they needed correction. I didn't think I needed correction. That's why I didn't have it. That's why I still have this problem. That's why I still have this thing that I need to be healed from. Because I didn't think I needed it. I thought they needed it. And so the fact that I feel uncomfortable lets me know that, no, I need it. Wow. And the discomfort brings the need for my own healing forcibly into my awareness. Because without that discomfort, I'd just be like, do. They're the problem. Do. That's the problem. I would just be completely oblivious to the fact that, no, I need correction. What I'm thinking is the problem. How do I know that what I'm thinking is the problem? Because I'm the one who feels uncomfortable. Wow, but if I didn't feel my discomfort, I wouldn't know it was me. I would forget that I need it. Now, if I didn't feel that discomfort, I wouldn't remember I need it. Now, what's the only way to feel the discomfort? To close my eyes. That's right, that's true. I don't feel my discomfort until I close my eyes and try to go within, right? Until then, I'm just irritated at the world. I don't feel my discomfort. I don't feel discomfort. I just feel irritation at everything outside of me until I close my eyes. And then I'm like, I better open my eyes, right? So discomfort, you don't feel your discomfort. What discomfort? The discomfort of letting the Spirit look at what you've been trying to hide from yourself and project on the world. I don't feel that until Holy Spirit is actually going, let me see. Let me see what you think you did. Let me see it. Let me see it. Wow. So discomfort in this case is a very high state. Yay. Yes.
The Holy Spirit or the spiritual eye, even with your eyes closed, do you think it's still something that you need to request?
Well, this is what it says in the paragraph. It says, the spiritual eye wakes up when you turn away from physical sight. So to me, that means as soon as I stop looking at the world outside of me, to me that also means stop thinking about anything outside of me. I'm going to stop thinking about what's outside of me. And I'm going to stop thinking about what's outside of me by closing my eyes. To me, that means when I do that, automatically my spiritual eye wakes up. Okay? It didn't say when I request it. But I'm imagining that just the act of going, okay, I'm not going to look at or pay attention to what's happening outside of me for 5 minutes, that is an automatic request to the spiritual eye within me. That's an automatic request. That's the way I interpret it.
Is it willingness a request in itself?
Exactly. It is my willingness to stop looking at the world outside of me, even for a minute, is a, what'd you say, Billy, a what?
Willingness is a request.
It's an automatic request. It's an inferred request for Holy Spirit to look.
Now, when it talks about discomfort, is that the same as terror, or is
Yeah,
terror
absolutely.
something different?
I would say so.
Okay.
I would say so. And that is one of the characterizations of the discomfort that I feel a lot of times when I've made the decision to close my eyes and stop looking at the world for a second. You know, I very often experience a wave of terror, you know, that feels very uncomfortable. Sometimes it feels like a wave of terror. Sometimes it feels like I fall asleep. Sometimes it feels like I'm bored. Sometimes it feels like I'm hungry. Sometimes it feels like my to-do list is dancing through my brain. Okay? So, yeah. It's going to be anything that doesn't feel comfortable. Wow, okay.
That's the blessing though.
And
I
the discomfort is the blessing.
Well, that's what, we're gonna try to handle it ourselves if we can.
That's right.
You don't cry for help until you feel threatened.
That's exactly
And
right.
that's what gets you, that when you're, oh my God, then you say help.
Discomfort is a miracle. It's a blessing. Because it's reminding you, oh, I need healing. I just remembered. I need healing because I feel really uncomfortable. Wow. And what's the discomfort coming from? It's coming from because something within me is seeing what I've been trying to hide from myself. That's what's uncomfortable. That's what I don't like to feel. I don't want to look at it. That's why I've been hiding it from myself. That's why I keep myself focused on everything outside of myself. That's why I got into a relationship. That's why I came into a body. I don't want to see what I think I've done to myself and others. Right? All right. Now, so it says, that everything that results from accurate spiritual awareness, which is what the spiritual eye sees when it looks, is merely channelized towards correction. Discomfort is only aroused to bring the need for correction forcibly to awareness. And what the physical eye sees is not corrective, nor can what the physical eye sees be corrected by any device which can be seen physically. Wow. Okay, wait. There is absolutely nothing that my physical eyes can see that can correct my discomfort. Nothing. Nada. Discomfort, extreme discomfort, cannot be corrected by anything I can see with my eyes. This problem that I'm experiencing, this thing I need healing from, cannot be healed with anything I can see with my eyes. Not medicine, not money, not the body, not specialness, not nothing. Wow, what a thought. The thing I need healing from cannot be corrected by anything I can see with my eyes. Can I see with my eyes? It's not going to work. Can I see with my eyes? It's not going to work.
Is that because my eyes can only see what my mind is projecting? They're just mirrors.
That's right.
And that's
Wow.
what needs corrected, what I'm projecting.
That's exactly right. Exactly. And anything I'm seeing external is just an effect of what I think I did in my mind and to others that I'm feeling ashamed of, that I'm feeling grief about. So, okay, so then it says, yes?
I'm kind of confused though, because it says, and I know this is the ego asking this, so this isn't
Well, thank you for telling me.
this is an ego question.
Oh, thank you.
because I can,
Jim says there's no other question. What other questions are there?
because
Only the ego asks questions.
I can see this book,
Uh-huh.
and so then
Right, exactly. And so, but the spiritual eye isn't a book. But apparently it can produce a book, thank God. Yeah. And remember, all the book is ever saying is, look within, close your eyes, look within. The book isn't saying, read a book. The book is saying, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes on what the world, on what you see in the world. Close your eyes, close your eyes, close your eyes, close your eyes. And allow the spiritual eye to look on what you have not been wanting to think about or feel. Look at it. Wow. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't have. You don't have to work hard. As soon as you close your eyes on the world, guess what? You're going to be perceiving or feeling what you've been trying to hide. It doesn't take long. That's why it's hard to meditate. It doesn't take long, because what does it say? As soon as you close your eyes on the world, immediately the spiritual eye starts seeing. So it's not like I have to close my eyes and go, oh, let's see what I've been trying to hide from myself. Let's see what it is I think I've done to my mind, the defilement of my mind. That's just what happens. Because as soon as you close your eyes, your awareness goes inward. And then spirit goes, great, now I can see. Isn't that interesting? The spiritual eye within you can only see when you close your body's eyes. Wow. Real sight, accurate spiritual awareness can only happen when the body's eyes are closed. Isn't that interesting? And it makes me think of the pineal gland, that gland in the center of the brain that actually has piezoelectric crystals within it and literally can produce light. And the pineal gland in your brain can only produce light when the body's eyes are closed. That's why it functions the most at night when you sleep. It's the perfect metaphor, physical metaphor for what exactly this is saying. There's something within your own brain and your own soul and spirit that can only see accurately, see light, which is truth, when you close your body's eyes. Wow. Real sight, accurate spiritual sight, only happens when you close your body's eyes. Isn't that interesting? So real sight comes not from these.
I know it's right after I close my eyes, then I don't know, I don't think mine's the right term. I immediately start making images with my eyes closed.
That's right.
As a further block to the spiritual sight.
Exactly. And what I hear it saying is that when you close your eyes, all of a sudden you see the thoughts you've made, like past tense. Like you see what you've made up. And guess what you feel as soon as you see what you've made up? Discomfort. You feel something that makes you want to stop looking at what you've made up. When you see what you've made up, it's uncomfortable. It's extremely uncomfortable. That's why I want to project it. And opening my eyes and projecting it has been my way of dealing with the extreme discomfort that what I've been telling myself brings. But the extreme discomfort is a very important part of the process of allowing the spiritual eye that's within you, letting it look upon what you think you did and what you've been trying to hide from yourself. That didn't even happen. And until you let that part of you look at what you think you did, until then you will think it happened, and you will feel guilty, and you will feel ashamed, and you will punish yourself through the world. And it's only when you allow that spiritual eye within you to look at what you think you did that you realize, oh, it was never done. That can't be done. Of course, as you are suffering and punishing yourself for a crime that could never be committed, you are punishing yourself, aka suffering, because of a crime you could never commit, ever. But you don't know that until you let the spiritual eye look at what you think you did, what you feel ashamed of. Okay, all right. Anybody feeling a little discomfort? Anybody besides me? Anybody?
When I feel discomfort when I close my eyes, I usually rest on old laurels and see that movie going through my mind. Something that makes me feel better, that's maybe about the past, or when I'm not being aware, when I'm not being necessarily willing, I'm looking for other ways to
Yes.
my uneasiness.
No doubt, no doubt. He says that the children of God are entitled to the perfect comfort that comes from perfect trust. The children of God are entitled to the perfect comfort that comes from perfect trust. Perfect comfort comes only from perfect trust. Perfect trust in what? Perfect trust that when you allow the spiritual eye to look at your fear and your guilt and your shame, that it's gone. When you let it be seen by love, it's gone. Perfect trust. He says, and until you allow that perfect comfort that comes from that perfect trust, that you will be attempting to make yourself comfortable with by inappropriate means. Does anybody know what I'm talking about by comforting yourself with inappropriate means?
Anything external.
Anything external. Wow. Trying to comfort myself with inappropriate means is anything external, anything that doesn't last. Anytime I try to comfort myself with anything external, it's inappropriate, it ain't gonna last, it's gonna cost me something, and I'm gonna have to pay for it. And it won't last. Whew. Wow, I have done some of that. Basically, that's everything. Okay.
Or
I have paid.
comforting yourself with any thought, too.
Yeah. Comforting myself with anything external. Anything external. Wow. Or anything besides going like this. Holy Spirit, oh my God, look at this for me. Look at this guilt. Look at this fear. Look at this anger. Look at this sadness. Look at this grief. Holy Spirit, look at this shame that I feel. Oh, look at what I think I've done. That is the only way to experience real comfort, because it's the only way to allow the correction and the remedy for that shame and fear and guilt and all the effects of it. Wow. So next time I feel uncomfortable, let me say, spiritual eye within me, please look at what I think I've done. Look at my shame, look at my guilt, look at my fear, look for me. And he goes, fine. As soon as you allow it to look for you, it's gone. Because as soon as the spiritual eye looks at it, it looks immediately, not 5 minutes, not a day, not a week. It immediately looks beyond it to what? The complete correction. The complete correction where it's gone. Gone. Just gone. Whew, wow. And that's how it works. Aha, that's how healing works. That's where real healing comes from. That's where real comfort comes from. Wow. Okay, good to know. Maybe someday I'll try it. Maybe tonight. All right. Then it says, okay, then the next thing I want you to do is bring that area, that thing you need healing around, and I want you to tell yourself the truth. Nothing that my physical eye sees can heal this. Nothing my physical eye sees can heal this problem. Nothing. Nothing my physical eye sees can heal this. You've got to tell yourself the truth about it. All right. Now, next sentence. As long as a man believes in what his physical sight tells him, all man's corrective behavior will be misdirected. As long as what? As long as I believe what my body's eyes are telling me about this problem. As long as I'm believing what my body's eyes are telling me about this problem, then whatever I do, whatever action I take, it ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Wow, that's pretty clear, huh? Too clear. Okay, then the next thing it says is that the reason that is because the real vision is obscured, right? Anything I use, any physical remedy that my body's eyes can see ain't gonna work, because as long as I'm looking for a physical remedy, the real vision, the inner spirit eye vision, is hidden. And my spiritual eye vision, what it sees, is hidden from me because I cannot endure to see my own defiled altar. I can't endure that physical discomfort. I can't endure that extreme discomfort that comes when I sit down and try to close my eyes and go within for 5 minutes. I can't endure it, not even for 5 minutes. I can't endure that that discomfort. You know what I mean? I can't even endure that discomfort for 5 minutes. That's why the course in the workbook has to work you up. Work you up to 1 minute, work you up to 2 minutes, work you up to 3 minutes, work you up to 5 minutes. Only until the middle of the workbook does he go, all right, maybe now a half an hour. And that's like 150 days in. Because of the discomfort that Spirit knows that we feel when we try, when we do that process of closing our physical eyes and go within. So my spiritual eye can't see the real correction because when I'm looking for physical corrections, physical healing, the vision of my spiritual eye is hidden from me, and it's hidden from me because I can't endure to see my own defiled mind. Oh, that's why I can't meditate. Oh, that's why I can't close my eyes for 5 minutes. I can't endure the discomfort of seeing my own defiled mind. The mind that I think has been defiled by me, by my mistakes. He says, but since your mind has been defiled, then your state becomes doubly dangerous unless you look. So I can't see what my spiritual eye sees when it looks at my mistakes, because I can't close my eyes, because I can't endure the discomfort of seeing my own defiled mind. But since my mind's already been defiled, if I don't look, then my state becomes doubly dangerous. I don't want to look and see what's in my own mind. I really don't. Oh, it's so uncomfortable. Oh, I can't endure it. Even for 5 minutes, I can't endure it. But unless I do look, my state, which means what? My world becomes doubly dangerous. My world's already dangerous because I ain't looking. I can't endure to look inside my own mind. But unless I do, my world's going to become more dangerous. Woo! That's so deep. Wow. Okay, there's a little motivation to endure the discomfort. Okay, I'm going to endure the discomfort because my world's already dangerous because I won't look. I won't look within because I don't want to feel discomfort. Oh, poor baby. How could it be any worse than the discomfort we already feel? How could it be worse than the discomfort we already experience every day in living in a world that feels so dangerous? That's what I need to ask myself. God, how could it be any worse? How could sitting still for 5 minutes and closing your eyes be any worse than living in a world that feels like it could kill you at any second in any number of ways? Wow. I think I will try to endure the discomfort for 5 minutes. So that my world does not become doubly dangerous. Wow. So if you want to feel safer in the world, then ask for help in enduring the discomfort of closing your eyes on the world and letting your spiritual eye look at what you think you did for 5 minutes. Help me, please, look at my defiled altar so that my world doesn't become doubly dangerous. Mm-hmm.
Well, is there a way with the body's eyes to look out on the world and see forgiveness and see beyond the body,
Mm-hmm.
and like the Course emphasizes so many times, to see with the vision of Christ?
Mm-hmm.
I guess that what I'm hearing from you, the vision of Christ is the spiritual eye.
Mm-hmm.
but isn't there a way to see in this world a classroom and a way to, like I say, see through pure forgiveness through the body's eyes and be able to find that peace that way?
Yeah, but it starts from within. It starts from within.
Projection is perception.
Yeah. So first I close my eyes on the world, and then I allow my spiritual eye to look for me and with me at my guilt and shame and fear. And then what I think I've done is corrected. And then when I open my eyes, I will see a different world. I will see a different world. I will see with the eyes of Christ.
A shift in perception.
That's right. But it starts with me closing my eyes on the world and stop trying to solve my problems with anything my physical eyes can see for 5 minutes or maybe even a minute. Right? For 5 minutes, I'm going to stop trying to figure out my problems and solve them with anything I can see with my eyes, and I'm going to let my spiritual eye look at my fear and shame and guilt. That is the essence of my discomfort. Right? Okay. If you didn't feel like you had somehow defiled your own mind, then you wouldn't feel discomfort when you closed your eyes and were with your mind. When you close your eyes, all you got is your mind. That's all you got. When you close your eyes, that's all that's there. What's there when you close your eyes? Your mind. Right? And when you are with your mind, then now you're going to see all the ways that you feel you've defiled your own mind. And believe me, it's going to be extremely uncomfortable. You're not going to be like, oh, look at how I've defiled my mind with all that anger and projection and shame and guilt. Oh, it feels great. It's not going to be like that. So just know that. Just know that. And also know that the discomfort means that finally you're willing to look and you're willing to allow your spiritual eye to look for you. And when you allow your spiritual eye to look at it for you, it's gone. That's how it gets healed. Wow. That's how it's done. That's how a healing is accomplished. Okay? It's not me figuring anything out. It's not me figuring anything out. It's not me figuring out how to fix this problem. That is not going to fix my problems. Never has, never will. Closing my eyes and feeling the discomfort and staying with it. Feel your feelings. Feel it. Feel the discomfort. And allow and invite the spiritual eye to look at what you feel uncomfortable about. That's what fixes your problems. And not just fixes them, temporarily, but they're gone, dissolve. All right, then it says, okay, I'm going to go for about 3 more minutes. All right, so the fear of healing arises in the end. The fear of this process that we're talking about arises in the end from an unwillingness to accept the unequivocal fact that healing is necessary. Man isn't willing to look on what he has done to himself. Oh, that's the problem. I don't think I need healing because I don't want to look at what I think I've done to myself. Wow. And healing is an ability lent to man after the separation, before which it was completely unnecessary. And it says, like all aspects of the space-time belief, healing ability is temporary. However, as long as time persists, healing is needed as a means for human protection. And that's in the original, but not the edited. As long as time, space, illusion persist, healing is needed as a what? As a means for human protection. Wow. And that's in the original, not the edited. That's interesting. Interesting, as long as what? As long as time persists, we need healing as for a human protection, okay? He says this is because healing rests on charity, and charity is a way of perceiving the perfection of another, even if he cannot perceive it himself. All right, so I'm going to stop here for tonight. Okay, so what is the belief that I'm using to keep myself from recognizing that I need healing? What is it I'm telling myself that's keeping me from the healing of this problem? I'm telling myself, I don't need healing. I don't need healing. I don't need healing. They need healing. I deny my own need for healing by seeing everybody else as needing healing. They are the problem. That situation is the problem. Money is the problem. Body is the problem. I don't need healing. They do. And the reason that I don't see myself as needing correction or needing healing is because I'm not willing to look on what I think I've done to myself. I'm not willing. So willingness to look on what I think I've done to myself is the same as saying, I need healing. I need healing. Now, here's how you know if you need healing. Are you here in time? Do you have a body? Does time and space seem real? That's how you know. Just to help us all get out of denial here. Wow, isn't that interesting? And if you're here and time and space seems real, then you need, guess what? If you're here and time and space seems real, guess what you need? Human protection. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so what is the only real protection for a human? I need some protection. I've got an alarm system on my house. I've got a bodyguard. I've got locks on my door. I live in a gated community. But that cannot protect me. There's only one thing that can protect me. And Lord knows I really, really, really want to feel safe here. I feel scared here because I feel like I need protection. He goes, yeah, you do. You do need protection. You're right. You need protection. You know why? Because you think you're a human. You think you're a human. And so you do need protection. But there's only one thing that can protect a human. And it's not locks, and it's not guns, it's not more money, and it's not a bodyguard. There's only one thing that can protect a human. Wow, what's that? Healing of your mind. Healing of your mind. Healing of what you think you've done to yourself. That's the only thing that can protect you. Closing your eyes on the world. Closing your eyes on what you think is done to you and what other people are doing to you, and allowing the spiritual eye to look on what you think you did to your own mind, as evidenced by the guilt and the shame and the fear and the sadness and the grief, and letting your spiritual eye look at it and see it correctly, which is nothing. You didn't do anything. Nothing happened. You are still as God created you. They're still as God created them. That is the only thing that's real healing, and that's the only thing that will ever protect a human. Wow. Now, does that increase your motivation to allow the healing of your mind? It does me. I mean, I'm such an ego human. Tell me how to feel safe in the world, and you got my attention. That's how scared I feel in the world. Wow. So when the Course tells me about how to feel safe here, I listen. Okay, and if feeling experiencing real protection here in a body, in space and time, where death seems real and nothing lasts, if that's the only real protection for a human like me, if the only way to experience real protection is to experience that extreme discomfort for a few minutes when I close my eyes, enough to let my spiritual eye look on my guilt and shame and fear, then fine, that's what I'll do. I'll do it. I will learn how to spend 5 minutes closing my eyes on the world and feeling that extreme discomfort and letting Spirit look at what I think I've done to defile my mind. I'll do it. Okay, I'll do it. Now I'll do it because I want to feel safe here. I really do want to answer that question, where can I go for protection? Here in time and space. Here in a frail, fragile, mortal body. Wow.
But the answer that you're going to get is that you're not here.
The answer that I'm going to get, according to this, is you didn't do anything that you need to feel ashamed about. You didn't hurt anybody's reality. They're still pure. They're still innocent. They're still powerful as God created them, and so are you, and nothing happened. So stop feeling guilty. Stop feeling ashamed of who you are. Stop feeling like if you looked within that all you'll see is guilt and sin and blackness and darkness that will be so horrible you'll want to kill yourself. Stop being afraid that if you look within, what you see is going to be so wretched that you'll want to kill your own self. Wow. So that's what I hear it saying, is what you'll see. Your mind is still as pure and loving and lovable as the moment it was created by God, and so is everybody else that you've been in relationship with. Thank God. What a relief that is. Just to know that the people I think I've hurt in my past, like all of them, they are still as God created them. I didn't even touch them. As a matter of fact, they're better off now that I'm gone. Yeah. Where's your guilt then? They're still as beautiful and loving and lovable as the day God created them, and they're even better off that you're not around. Where's your guilt and shame there? Where's your fear to love now? Where's your fear to love now? Gone. Wow. All right, so now we're going to do our integration meditation. Thank you for your financial expressions of appreciation. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you want to learn more about my holistic counseling practice, go to AnnaKujawa.com. All right. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right, so now close your eyes and breathe. The name of this tune is Contemplation. Okay, so I want you to just now, closing your eyes, I want you to just tune in to how you feel right now. How does it feel hearing these ideas tonight? How does it feel? Beautiful. Now let's just go ahead and do what our teacher told us to do tonight. I want you to bring back to your awareness that situational relationship that you recognize that you need healing around and in. And I want you to tell yourself the truth. Nothing that my physical eyes can see will heal this, will bring me peace or comfort around this. And then I want you to now look within your own mind. And I want you to ask your spiritual eye to look with you and for you upon this problem, upon this pain, this area that you are feeling conflict in. Spiritual eye within me, please look for me upon it. Look at it. And I want you to ask your spiritual eye to see for you what you think you've done to feel so ashamed about. Spiritual eye, look with me upon the defilement of my mind, what it is I think I've done to myself to make myself unworthy and unlovable. And I want you to look with your spiritual eye on what you think you've done to make yourself unlovable and unworthy of love. And I want you to see with your spiritual eye. And then I want you to ask your spiritual eye to look upon it, look upon it, look upon it. Look upon this guilt and shame, this sadness and sorrow with me. All the ways I feel like I made myself unlovable and unloving. And spiritual eye, show me what you see. And spiritual eye, show me what you see on the other side of it. Show me what you see, I'm going to see with you. Look with your spiritual eye upon it once again. And see what your spiritual eye shows you as it looks right through it to the truth about you. And see. Look again now. What does it look like now? What do you see now where you used to see shame and guilt? And whatever it is that you see now, looking with your spiritual eye, I want you to look upon it for a moment more, and I want you to feel your gratitude to your spiritual eye. And let your gratitude to your spiritual eye fill your heart and flood every cell in your body with real healing, real light, real joy. want you to tell your spiritual eye, I am willing to feel the discomfort of looking within at what I think I've done to myself, so that I can experience real human protection. And just breathe it in. And feel that feeling of real healing, which is real protection, real safety. This is what real feeling heals like. This is what real healing feels like. This is how you come to feel safe while in a human body in space and time. And feel it. Let every cell in your body feel safe. Let every cell in your body feel protected. Protected by truth. Protected by healing. Beautiful. Take a breath, take it in, take it in. Take a breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, just bring your awareness back to your healed and safe and protected body. All right. And to that we say, amen. Amen. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being here and helping me to say these words so I can experience real protection. I appreciate you.
Thank you,
I
Anne.
appreciate you. Thank you. All right. Till next time.